Action.
Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
Welcome in to a Thursday edition of the JP Peterson Show. I know you're all very groggy from getting your wake-up call at 4:45 a.m. this morning. Luckily, my phone has not been working well. My signal is not good in my house, so I guess that's why I got away with it.
I'm so happy you were spared because I'm glad you brought it up right away because I was going to say before we go any further into sports today, what the hell was that?
It's a bad sign. It's a bad sign.
4:45 in the morning. My phone's going off.
God.
Casey's phone's going off. Dog is going absolute ape shit this morning. Hearing this like,
and the Florida emergency management, I think this is a federal thing, even though it's Florida. I think it's directed federally. There's supposed to be some FCC, the things that go off on your television. The emergency broadcast system was supposed to go at a certain time. It's a lot of bizarre stuff coming out and telling people why it happened, and it was a big mistake. It wasn't a mistake.
They have a schedule that you can go on their website and find, and it says that it was supposed to fire at 4:45 last night, and it's supposed to do it again in June, and it's supposed to do it again in August.
Since when did this start? And who chose 4:45?
Yeah, 4:45 in the morning.
This is a message sending of something to let people aware, to let people know that this thing does exist, and next time they ring it, it's going to be for something really bad, and that's I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about
whoever
it.
Whoever organized it, I want them thrown under the cell.
No, they're just what we're doing these days is just trying to make people as crazy and anxiety ridden and divided as they possibly can. So that's what the whole plan is, and it's just bizarre. And here we go, where everybody get up at 4:45 a.m. just to let you know that they have the power to reach all of you in a split second and get your attention. Just to let you know, in case you didn't know, now you know. Bizarre world we live in, man. Bizarro world. All right, we got lots of good stuff. Let's get back to the real world that we can take our minds off of all this other stuff that's going on around you. That's catastrophic. Don't worry about that. We got hockey tonight. That's all you got to worry about. And it's game 2 as the Bolts get set to take on Toronto after that ass whooping they put on the Maple Leafs in game 1, 7-3. Bunting is suspended for 3 games as the NHL sends a definite message in this series, but is Toronto winning the battle anyway because Chernak's not going to play tonight. Asimont's not going to play tonight, who also took a shot to the head. Looks like it's a game-time decision for Hedman, so hopefully he's going to be okay. That certainly suggests that he's going to be able to play as the series goes on. But missing Chernak is a big deal. Missing Asimont is a big deal. Sure, you got 1. You'd love to get 2. But, this is – and what's really weird is there's this – Sheldon Keefe is saying, he's saying it shouldn't be a suspension. Toronto people are saying that the Lightning have always been a dirty team, which is ridiculous. But, as that game went on, there was a lot of physicality to the game. The Lightning aren't backing down. That's not going to happen tonight. But, to me, this looks like Toronto getting out of there once again, getting out of their game plan, thinking of things that they need to do to get under the Lightning's skin instead of really focusing on what they need to do for puck possession, because they got their ass kicked in that in game one. And they just were, they have goaltender issues now, even though Samsonov is going to get the start tonight. Even after game one, Sheldon Keefe was like, we don't know yet. So now what kind of message have you sent to your goaltender? What kind of short leash does he have tonight? So as everybody was on Toronto before game one, and we're the first here to tell you that game one, doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot when it comes to the entirety of the series. You heard what Cooper said the other day in terms of the matchup. We got a series here. There's no question about it. It's good. This is not going to be some romp for the Lightning. In fact, tonight is going to be a tough one for them. I think it's going to be very hard for them to win this game tonight. Almost everything has to go right because of just absolute energy that they're going to have to absorb from this crowd tonight and from the Leafs, who are absolutely desperate. You can't lose this game. You can't. This series is over. This is as close to a Game 7 as you could possibly, an elimination game, as you could have. And that's not an elimination game.
And I think it has to do so much with the mental part of it. You go down 2-0. We've been talking a lot about the media coverage and the scrutiny, and what's the reaction going to be when if they're down 2-0 going into Tampa?
Yeah.
Right? Now, the flip side of that, maybe it wouldn't be as bad because maybe it's a good thing to get away from that media coverage and get down to Tampa. They're a good road team as well, which we've seen, and maybe that would be good for them. And the other thing, too, tonight we're going to have a lineup change where it looks like Matthew Nyes, because Bunting, 3 games.
Yep.
3 games suspended. Probably a game more than I thought he was going to get, to be honest.
Yeah,
but
I would agree with that.
But nonetheless, I mean, that's a huge loss for Toronto, especially their top 6. So they're going to turn to Matthew Nyes, who very impressive, although 20 years old.
Right.
With just 4 NHL games under his belt at the end of the season. But he was the Big Ten player at Minnesota. We saw them here in the Frozen Four. A lot of hype surrounding him, and I know Leafs fans have been kind of dying to see this guy get in there. So I think it might provide a little spark for him.
Yeah, it will. It could, depending on how the kid plays. Will he be overwhelmed? We'll see. And don't forget, for the Lightning, we could see a return of Tanner Jeannot. And I have this question. Clearly, that's 2 guys that have been knocked out by headshots by Toronto. Okay? Jake McCabe on Eyssimont, and, of course, Bunting on Chernak. Does Tanner Jeannot get loose tonight and get some and settle some scores tonight? And is that something that you really want to be doing if you're the Lightning, by putting that lethal Toronto power play onto the ice just to settle a score?
Yeah.
That's not Lightning playoff hockey. We don't do that. We settle scores during a regular season.
I was listening. Funny you say that. I was listening to Bruce Boudreau, was on Sirius XM this morning. I was listening to it driving in, and I think this is probably common knowledge, but usually when something like that happens, he said, or just in general officiating, especially before playoff games, the officials will sit down with the coaches and tell you straight up right away, like, don't do this, don't cross. They basically put it out there. So I would assume there's probably going to be a conversation with John Cooper ahead of time, Sheldon Keefe, about what happened in that game, and to try to not let it get out of hand and turn it, because we don't want to see 10, 12 penalties again.
No,
I don't think the officials really wanted to have to go there.
No, but you have to.
It kind of escalated to that. So
you have to make the calls to not let the game get out of whack.
I could see, like, in the first period or something, maybe a Maroon or maybe a Jeannot gets in there, although I probably don't think it's smart for Jeannot to probably go out of his way to get into a scrap right now. But maybe a Pat Maroon or someone like that, if you want to drop the gloves with, like, a Lafferty or somebody at the bottom 6, I mean, by all means, I think that's okay. Kind of settle the score real quick and move on.
Yeah, that would be fine. I don't, as much as I would like to see Jeannot settle some scores, the more you think about it, the game's more important. And these power plays are lethal. You just can't give one up, drop the gloves at the face-off and give one up just because you want to settle a score. That's not mature hockey. That's not smart hockey. You don't ever want to back down from a team. And obviously you settle that score by coming out tonight and being super aggressive on the puck, not illegally, but on the puck. You pissed off that you're mad that they took some cheap shots at your players. Well, go put it to them in a legal way. You're allowed to do it, so go do it. And I think that's going to be the message from John Cooper. for his team. We'll see.
Yeah, I just wouldn't play into their game.
No, do not play into their game. You cannot do that. It's this gets to the time of year where it's so important that you stay out of the box that you can't let your emotions get the best of you. Teams, and I think you saw Toronto fall prey to that because Bunting went headhunting, and that turned that game in what was a 3-2 game, right? And 4-2, and then that happened. Now it's 5-2, it's 6-2, it's gone. And it was because he went headhunting. And that really any chance of a comeback that Toronto had was gone when he did that. So you went out of your way to do it, and you lost the game on home ice.
Yeah.
You lost home ice because you could not control yourself emotionally. And that's you can't do that in the playoffs. And the Lightning cannot fall into that trap. Just go out there and beat them on the scoreboard. Let them make the mistakes. Put themselves in the box, and you take advantage with your excellent power play.
Yeah,
that's how you get back.
And that's why I think if both teams start getting penalties again and we see 5 or 6, whatever it is, aside, I think this game will end up being a high-scoring one because I just don't think these penalty kills can stop these power plays right now.
Right.
And if you're the Lightning, you dominated this game 5-on-5.
Yeah.
When it was 5-on-5, Toronto, again, they looked a little skittish. They looked a little scared to go forward, which was really surprising to me. And do I expect that again out of Toronto tonight? No, I don't. They smell, let's be honest, they smell blood in the water.
Yeah.
They accomplished what they needed to. You have a banged-up Victor Hedman if he even plays tonight. Right? Ian Cole, I guess he might have had something, but he's going to play tonight as well. No Chernak.
Right.
So Bogosian's going to draw in, or Fleury, or maybe even both of them for all we know.
Yep.
You got to smell blood in the water if you're Toronto.
And once again, Radish is going to have to play probably some power play time if Hedman doesn't play.
Which I liked him there.
And PK as well. So a lot to heap on this young rookie. It's Stanley Cup playoffs. It's time to step up. He's done a great job so far. Same with Nick Perbix. So they're going to ask even more of him in this game. So we'll see. Obviously, it's a huge game for Toronto. I think at this point, the Lightning are playing with house money. And the thing is, if they can get up early, on these guys and the crowd gets into it, boo them off the ice like they did after the first and second period the last game, then it's the coffin is getting really close, really, really close. So that should be fun tonight. Let's give a listen to John Cooper after yesterday's practice. Obviously, he was peppered with questions about the health of his players, and we know again Chernak is not playing. And I've been told that Chernak is okay. The protocols are the thing that are going to keep him out and Asimont out. But I would expect, from what I was told by a pretty good source, that he should be back. That this concussion won't linger. You don't know that for sure, obviously, because they can change day to day. You know, you can be progressing fine and then have a setback sometimes. So those are really tricky situations. From what I'm hearing, hopefully Chernak's going to be okay. Let's listen into John Cooper after practice.
Your team played yesterday. They were good right up the bat. Were you surprised, impressed, or was business as usual for you, especially after the last month of the season?
Well, you're happy anytime when you can score in the first minute and a half of a game, especially the way the crowd was going, and there was a definite buzz in the building. So felt that kind of put a pin in it for a little bit, and then naturally getting the second one helped. So anytime you can jump to the lead on the road, you're pretty happy with that, and I think we kind of fed off that as we went on.
Is there any update on the 3 guys that left the game partway through last night?
Well, Chernak and Izzy will be out, and then he'll be game time.
Janot?
Yeah. So we'll hope. So we'll see tomorrow what kind of roster we can field.
He could play game tomorrow?
Potentially, yes.
You've seen both sides throughout the season. Teams being ready to play, teams not being ready to play. You guys had that awful game in Florida and moments throughout the season. When a team's not ready.
Which game are you pointing out in Florida?
The one right after the All-Star game. That I was seeing right down in the corner.
You were there for that?
Yes. Mm-hmm. With the friends you just traded for Paso.
We've had some tough games in that building. Yeah.
Why does that happen? What causes that?
It's Well, first of all, it's 82 games. I think it's happened to everyone, except for maybe Boston. Other than that, there's going to be games where the other team's feeling it. You're not. The harder you try, the worse it gets. Maybe the goalie's not on it. There's a plethora of reasons why that happens. But when you play as many games as we do, it's hard. Sometimes there's schedule losses. That one was, I don't know, a spring break loss. I don't know what we call that one, but it was. It's a tough league, and I think you can't. The sign of a kind of a mature team is being able just to sweep those games under the rug and then get right back at it, and that's what we were talking about. Our, kind of our post All-Star break. When you're kind of set in a playoff spot, you know that you'd really have to collapse to be out of it. Those things can happen, and that sounds like excuse-like, but it's not. Like, when you live day to day what these players go through, I'm just a coach. I just stand there. But what these guys have to do on every team, not just ours, and the grind to play every night. There are going to be nights when it doesn't go your way, and that was definitely one of them.
And recovered the way you guys did after game 1 last year.
Well, so that's an urgency thing as well. And I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here saying Toronto didn't come out with urgency, but, just the way that game went, we felt we lost it in every way possible. And, the goalie felt like he could be better, players felt they could better, coaches felt like we could be better, and there was an urgency in the next night. And I think that's a big thing for us, because I'm sure Toronto's across the hall there, their urgency is probably going up, and for as an opponent you have to match that. And it's easy to sit here and say, we got the first one, we did that last year, it's okay if we go back. See, I disagree with that. It's like, be greedy now, like go get the second one and really try and put some pressure on them. So it kind of works both ways, but there might be an advantage for the team that lost the first game. But we'll have to see. We'll see how we respond.
Coop, can you see Corey Perry admitted he didn't have a good season or last couple of months. He was minus 20-something. Comes out yesterday, gets the fans all cranked up in the warm-up, and then we saw what he did in the game. I mean, can you just speak to, people talk about turning the switch on?
All right. First of all, there's a little humble pie into what he's saying. Okay. What was he, minus 26? All right. How many of those were 6-on-5 empty netters? Like 15 of them, where he's the farthest guy away from the net, but probably has nothing to do with it. So in that room, we know, like, if you go to his 5-on-5, I bet you it's within 3 of even. So he's being humble, and I appreciate him for that. He's had a much better season than he's given himself credit for. He's also been in this league a long time, and do we have Corey Perry on this team because he's a big part of our team? Yes, but he's here to play this time of year, and that's when whether he gets 10 minutes ice time. Corey has an impact on our team in such a positive way, and it's not always the 10 or 12 or 14 minutes he plays in the game. It's when he's sitting on the bench, when he's in the locker room. So he's not giving himself enough credit for what a positive impact he's had on us.
There's John Cooper. There's a little bit more of it. We'll get back to it later on in the show. By the way, Brian Bradley will join us at 11 o'clock. He went to the game in Toronto, so we'll get a feel for how the stadium emptied out.
Rather quickly, too.
Rather quickly, yes. Toronto fans, they're, as we found out yesterday, a late arriving crowd.
Late arriving, yeah.
Much expectations and often disappointed.
I bet they have some kind of like
they spend a lot of money.
I bet they have some crazy superstitions, these fans.
Oh,
like it has to be like completely planned.
Yeah.
Based on, but I think you need to find a new one though.
Yeah, it's not working.
No.
Yeah, your juju is off.
Yeah. The other thing I meant to make a point of this yesterday. Tuesday night in the National Hockey League, there was 4 games.
Right.
And ironically, I don't know how many times this happened, but every single team on the road got the win in pretty convincing fashion. And then last night, the home teams kind of
Interesting.
came back and won 3 of 4. But going into last night, road
Interesting.
teams were up 6-2
Right.
to start, and now it's, I think, 7-5 through 12 games. So road teams have actually had a lot of success this postseason, which is interesting. So maybe, Cooper said it right there. Let's get greedy. Let's take 2 on the road.
And this is why the Lightning always like to start on the road because they know that there's an inherent advantage because I think because you can see these home teams they're gripping the stick. It's like they expend their energy. This is something that sports psychologists will tell you all the time. And if you're around any of these big events, you feel the electricity in the air. Like there's an energy to these events. And sports psychologists will tell their players, listen, you got to be very careful to channel your nervous energy into the game and not get too hyped before the game. You know, you go out in the warm-ups and you're sweating, you get the froth going, and then you got to sit through the national anthem and all that stuff, and it can take some time, especially in the playoffs when there's a little bit more pomp and circumstance. So then you got to get your emotions back up. Where the good teams learn how to not get up before the game. They just chill, and then when the game starts, when that first whistle, when that puck drops, that's when their energy starts to build. That's another advantage of playoff experience. And I think you saw Toronto fall prey to that a little bit because they came out and it's, that energy, it's nervous energy, and they're almost skating around with chickens with their head cut off, right? They're too amped up and they're going too hard while the Lightning are going hard but under control. That's the difference in the playoff experience to me. And you could see it was palpable in the first period.
That, yes, and Toronto's been hearing it, including I said it as well. They've been hearing it all over the place of, okay, this is the year that they finally break through.
Right.
Everybody's on our side. Everybody feels that we got the better team. We completely changed our bottom 6 and some of our D pairs to give ourselves a better shot. Went out and got a different goalie that we thought would give us a better chance.
Right. Yep.
And the Lightning, I'm sure, they're sitting in the dressing room, and Cooper's probably telling them, guess what? This league is turned on y'all.
Yeah.
They don't think that y'all are the same team that you used to be.
Yep.
They don't think you're good anymore. And they got that team. They're giving it to them. And they want to see Boston and Toronto. So from a mentality standpoint, I think the Lightning came in with a much far different mentality than Toronto had to come into. And ultimately, Toronto just couldn't match that.
Nope, exactly. And now you heard what Coop said about the urgency. And Toronto's going to come out like that. You got to kind of, withstand that a little bit. Meet that energy, withstand it, but counterpunch. Get that counterpunch going. Look for that counterpunch. And that's how you take advantage of their over-aggressiveness. And these are all nuances of the game that I think the Lightning understand so much better than everybody else that they play against. Mm-hmm. And that's I think it's why they've been so successful. It's a kind of a weird thing to see, but I think it's definitely there. And then you extend that to the goaltending. Like, Vasi is not going to get overamped in game situations like this. Whereas you have someone who is not, in Samsonov, who has been in the playoffs but had horrible results. He's now 1-7 in the playoffs with a goals against of over 4.
Yeah.
I mean, it's starting to get us to be a serious sample size.
And this is the first time, too, that Vasilevsky had the luxury of going into the playoffs, having not played a lot of hockey going in.
Yeah.
And not that he wasn't working. I mean, they made a point on the broadcast to say that every off day that he had, he was going to the gym sometimes 2 times a day.
Yeah, pumping iron.
And was pumping iron and working and getting himself ready for this series. So he's had a lot of time to get there, whereas Samsonov's been kind of rehabbing an injury, and he got back late in the year. So there's a completely different dynamic there as well.
We said he might be rusty going into that game, and he admitted they played like shit.
And the ultimate, again, I mean, I love these stats that continue to come out. And, I mean, the ultimate game changer is, of course, Nikita Kucherov. And I don't know if you saw this one yesterday.
I did, yeah.
391 players in NHL history have played 100 or more playoff games, and only 5 have averaged more points per game than him in the playoffs. One Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux.
Heard of him.
Mark Messier.
Heard of him.
Mike Bossy.
Mm-hmm.
Yari Curry.
Yeah.
And Nikita Kucherov.
Yeah.
And again, where is Toronto's stars matching that?
Not. Marner and
I mean, every time they showed...
They had 3, Marner had 3 assists.
It meant nothing.
It just didn't seem
And every time they showed the bench for Toronto, especially when they got down 2-0, the camera's focused on Austin Matthews all the time.
Yeah.
And he's just got this blank stare.
Yeah.
Of what's going on here. So I think Toronto's searching right now.
Yeah.
I think they're searching right now.
They are. That's why early on, if they can sneak in a goal, boy, especially if you can get a third-line goal again or fourth-line goal again, I mean, that doubt is going to creep in so much. And get two, and then they've got to, they've got to beat Vasilevsky and the Lightning 4 out of 5, with 3 of them in Animal.
And I'm confident that's not happening.
Good luck. Good luck with that, Toronto. Good luck with that. All right. Well, our commenters are already jumping on the other thing we wanted to talk about a little bit today. The Oakland A's have purchased land in Vegas, baby, to ostensibly build a stadium there and move the hell out of Oakland. And there's a reverse boycott that A's fans are going to actually show up for a game. I find this interesting.
Yeah, I don't understand the thought process here, but they're going to do a reverse boycott for a game in June against your Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah.
And rather than not coming to the ballpark like they don't do already,
right,
they're going to go to the ballpark apparently in droves, and they're going to show the organization that we care. We care.
Part of the problem, well, there's many problems in Oakland, and I think it's a much different situation than Tampa Bay, because obviously the market size is different. Obviously, it's a huge market. I think they're the 5th largest market, but they already have another team there that is beloved, and the San Francisco Giants right across the bay. Can you imagine if there were 2 teams in Tampa Bay? It'd be kind of weird, right? But so it's a much different situation. I don't think there's ever really been a groundswell in Oakland, is certainly among the politicians. And by the way, Oakland, the city itself, is a disaster. You think San Francisco's bad, and it is. But politically, Oakland is an absolute disaster. And I just don't see any groundswell or certainly any urgency to get anything done with the Oakland A's. And the fact that there's already a team in the market, I think Major League Baseball clearly wants that out of Oakland, because it just makes the Giants a stronger franchise and gives them another franchise, an expansion franchise. And this wouldn't be an expansion franchise, obviously, but it would be another market that they can exploit and do a lot of different things with in Vegas. And then they still have these other, Portland wants a baseball team. Charlotte wants a baseball team. Nashville wants a baseball team.
Now Salt Lake City.
So they still have plenty of expansion candidates that they can go with as well. And I'm still convinced that Major League Baseball is going to stay in the Tampa Bay area. No question about that. They're not abandoning this market. And I still think they want the stadium in Tampa. We talked a little bit about this yesterday, and I'm shocked that no news organizations are not going crazy over this. But the fact that the city of St. Petersburg and Mayor Welch are now negotiating a deal with the Rays in secret, skirting sunshine laws to have individual conversations with city councilmen who are not talking, who don't want to comment on the negotiations that are going on. I cannot for the life of me understand how there's $1 billion in public money that we're talking about here, and the biggest redevelopment project in the history of St. Petersburg, and we're okay with the fact that these negotiations are going on in secret. It boggles my mind how news organizations are okay with this, and I don't think the constituents are okay with it. Does anybody ask them if they're okay? You people in St. Petersburg, are you okay with this? You ready for your new mayor to spend $1 billion, give $1 billion in a stadium subsidy to a billionaire, without any negotiations in the sunshine or telling the people what the plan? Now, I said they want to have the plan all ready to go and all the questions answered. Well, I can tell you how that works. They vote on it, and then they tell you what the plan is. Okay? There's no time for comment. So, to me, that seems a little weird. But, here we go with the stadium situations. And certainly having Oakland and Vegas and that all done is a plus for Tampa Bay.
It is, and it puts the Major League Baseball's focus back on the Rays, where I feel like they've always been the secondary. And honestly, probably deserve to be the secondary because it's just untenable in Oakland right now.
Yeah.
And I don't think it actually has to do anything with the fans. I joke about the whole boycott thing, but that to me has always been one of those historic franchises with historic players. Like I think of Dennis Eckersley, I think of Raleigh Fingers, I think of Ricky Henderson. You think of the Moneyball A's, and even the A's that they just had that were really successful. I think these fans care, but they've been jerked around for years by this organization, which has just given up on them, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And fielding a $26 million payroll this year, they just have no interest in doing anything.
It's a slap in the face of all
and
baseball
I don't know
fans.
if you saw this over the weekend. The whole possum thing, where the visiting booth is not even being used right now because a possum is living inside its walls, and it's been there since last season. They don't care. So they don't care about their own fans.
Is that a picture of the possum?
That's a picture of the possum right there, living inside the walls
of the
of the stadium, which they have neglected to try to do anything to get it out.
That looks like a rat of unusual size.
A little bit. A little bit, and that's why somebody commented here they should be the Las Vegas opossums.
Yeah,
which would be so fitting.
You don't pronounce the O.
You know what?
It's just possums.
Well, there you go. I'm learning today. But
thank God that's their problem. Anyway, so and our Rays, by the way, we'll take a break and we'll get into the Rays. The Rays win again, 8-0. The numbers keep piling up. Just keep piling up on historic runs that this team is on. They get the day off today, which will help them reset their battered pitching staff. But, wow, they just keep on getting her done. So we'll talk some Rays when we come back. Brian Bradley joins us at 11 o'clock. We got some football to talk Buccaneers as well as the draft is a week away. Lots more coming your way here on the JP Peterson Show. Brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Stay with us. Hey guys, are you experiencing those feelings of getting older, lower sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, or you just don't feel like you had the vitality you once had? It's a chronic problem here in the United States. You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well, so do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability, not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Folks, I've been on testosterone therapy for over 6 years, and it is a life changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group. Have you been injured in an accident, in an auto accident, truck accident, motorcycle accident, at work, or at a place of business? Well, call the Jeeves Law Group and get the personal attention that you deserve. I made the mistake many, many years ago with going with one of the bigger law firms, the national law firms. And let me tell you, getting a call back from those folks was next to impossible. Weeks and weeks would go by, never get a call back. That doesn't happen with the Jeeves Law Group. Personal attention is what they're all about. When you call the Jeeves Law Group, you will be part of the family. They will represent you in a vigorous and aggressive way against the insurance companies. These larger companies will promise bigger settlements, but it's the Jeeves Law Group that will get you the best results. If you're tired of dealing with these bigger law firms, check out the Jeeves Law Group. Go to JeevesLawGroup.com, tell them JP sent you, get a free consultation. It's the Jeeves Law Group. Scott Jeeves has been representing clients in the Tampa Bay area for over 25 years. Give them a call. It's a free call, 727-894-2929, 727-894-2929, or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. Folks, there is no better place to shop for jewelry than the Gold and Diamond Source. They are the family jewelers, and they will treat you like family. They'll make it a fun experience. People come from all over to shop at the Gold and Diamond Source because of their great customer service and incredible, impeccable reputation. No sales pressure, no intimidation, and they have the largest selection of hand-picked diamonds. And by the way, diamonds are the April birthstone. So this month only, they are offering 15% off their diamond birthstone collection, available on just select products. And you probably heard a lot about lab-created diamonds, folks. They hold no real value. You will have no resale value whatsoever with a lab-created diamond. And of course, it's fake. It doesn't mean as much. The Golden Diamond Source has plenty of options to accommodate any budget, folks. Interest-free financing up to 5 years, a layaway program, 20% down, and only 6 monthly payments. And, of course, the Diamond Savings Account, where you get full value of your diamond when you look to upgrade. It's all there for you at the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Homerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Well, Fitz the mortgage guy did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man, Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com.
Coming back at you.
Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
Brian Bradley, Lightning's first All-Star, was at the game in Toronto on Tuesday. He will join us at 11 o'clock, and we'll get his perspective on tonight's game. Maybe look back at Game 1 a little bit. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group. If you've been involved in an accident and you want that personal attention of a smaller local law firm, not small, but smaller than the big law firms that don't even know your name when you call up, that's the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. They will take your case very seriously. Obviously, you're not going to be one of a million, but you're going to get great representation and dogged representation from a very aggressive law firm. So if you've been in that situation or you've had your car totaled and you don't think you got the great settlement, well, give them a call. Find out. It's a free call, and see if you have a case. You might get some money back. And just go to the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com, and contact them through the website. All right, we're going to get to the Rays and their 8-0 win yesterday. And poor Levi Stout. By the way, what a great name.
That's a fantastic name.
Levi
Top-notch
Stout.
name.
What's your name, man? My name's Levi. Levi Stout. Like, damn, bro. Like you cannot be a pussy if that's your
gosh.
name. If that is your name, you just cannot be some weak. Although he got his ass handed to him yesterday.
He did. He did.
I just love that night. I'm like, that's really your name? Damn, bro. That sounds like some actor would change their name to Levi Stout. Anyway, Levi was not very stout yesterday as Yandy Diaz greeted him with a line drive that, if it was at his head, would have decapitated him. 115 miles per hour off the bat. Listen to the sound this thing made. Ain't got it in a hurry. Because you can hear everything, including the press box speaker.
And that's a shot back into left field. Pretty well tagged. Got to get out of here. Home run. Yandy Diaz belting his 6th home run of the year. He hit one in the 2nd inning last night.
Did you hear the press box speaker in the background? Oh, my God. There's like 12 people at that game.
People were at that game yesterday.
Not many. You could, especially between pitches, you could hear conversations. You could hear the press box speaker. I mean, it was.
What we get? 10,000?
No, ain't no way.
No
Freaking
freaking way.
That's tickets sold, bro. They actually have a season ticket base in Cincinnati. Yeah. So
10,205.
No. Was not. So Yandy got things going. 19th game in a row that the Rays have homered, bro. That's one short of the record held by the Mariners. What? 19 straight games with a home run? Are you freaking kidding me?
And how much time did we spend yapping over the offseason about getting more pop in this lineup? For them to come out and have a home run in 19 straight games?
I'd feel like a real idiot if the GM wasn't saying the same thing.
I seriously, like, I was kind of
the guy who knows his team the best said they needed more power. We all agreed with him, and clearly we were all wrong.
Yeah,
including him.
I mean, this is getting insane at this point.
It is. These numbers are ridiculous.
It's like even when they have like an off game, like they did in the first game against Cincinnati, right?
Yeah.
And even like those weekend when they got a little bit better pitching in Toronto. And what do? In that Sunday game against Toronto, they come out and score 8 runs.
Right.
And they come back out and they 18-0 the last 2 games.
Yeah. Their run differential now, plus 83, is the best of the modern era.
Plus 83.
Plus 83.
In 19 games. I mean, they're first in every metric. Average, home run, RBI, run, on base, slugging, OPS, everything.
Yeah. And their pitching as well. They have the lowest ERA in the league, correct? So they have had for most of
2.57.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous. And yesterday, they get 5 innings pitched from Drew Rasmussen, 3 hits, 3 walks, 7 Ks. His stuff was
easy 5 innings.
Easy 5 innings. I mean, it was easy breezy 5 innings. It's that they jump out to a 6-0 lead. I know it's the Reds have won 7 games. It's not like they're terrible.
Probably better than we thought they'd be until they ran into this team.
Yeah. It just the superlatives just keep coming and coming and coming. So now they got a day off.
Yeah, and then they get Chicago.
Not a very good baseball team.
No.
Then they get the Astros on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
they have not been rolling this year to start.
Yeah, Taj Bradley is going to get that start on Monday, so he's going to stay in the
yeah. And by the way, Saturday
starting rotation.
Saturday, I was going to say is the game to go to this weekend. Although, because it's at 4, the Lightning are at 7. That's a little bit of a tough transition there. But
won't be me.
If you're into pitching, though, Dylan Cease versus Shane McClanahan on Saturday at the Trop.
Wow.
I wish that game was at 1 o'clock.
That's a good one.
And not 4 o'clock, because that is one of the better pitching matchups that you're going to see so far this season.
Well, you could go to the Rays game and go to Fergs and watch the Lightning game. That's a good day right there.
That's true.
That's a good day.
Which I'm planning to go to the watch party tonight.
Yeah, watch party down at Sparkman Wharf again.
I'm off today. I need to get around some people.
Yeah, that'll be fun. They have all the accoutrement out there that you need. They open up all the extra beverage stations. They got the big screen out there. It's real easy to see. Yeah. Thunderbug and Greg Wolf and the whole gang will be out there. So that'll be at Sparkman Wharf tonight if you're looking for a watch party.
Yeah, but again, the Rays, though, I mean, you mentioned the superlatives continue. 8 of the 9 guys get base hits. All 9 guys get on base.
Right.
Josh Lowe continues to drive in runs. He's hitting 362. Josh Lowe is hitting 362. Randy Arozarena, 3 for 5. He's hitting 333. I mean, what do you say anymore?
Really
Taylor
good.
Walls is hitting 350.
I know.
And he's like the hottest hitter in baseball right now.
Yeah.
And Bethancourt, they found themselves a catcher who can hit, by the way.
It's all falling into place. And yeah, we're still let's see what they do against the better teams. They're still 1 and 2.
Yeah, and I mean that's true.
Teams.
It's like the only concern I still have right now again is I know it sounds weird saying this after back-to-back shutouts, but was the bullpen. And it's like specifically Pete Fairbanks only because this guy doesn't get to pitch enough.
No.
He just went a week in between outings, and he comes out yesterday, and he was all over the place, to be honest. But can you blame the guy?
No, as expected. Crazy. Let's listen to Kevin Cash post-game here, courtesy of Bally Sports Sun, as he continues to heap the superlatives on his own team.
The way that we swung the bats, like you said, hit the ball hard and not knowing a guy. Look, obviously he's a talented young pitcher, but we seemed to be really ready to go. Yandy started it off, and then a bunch of guys with some hard hits and some home runs.
And Drew Rasmussen, a bounce back. I know he'll nitpick those walks, but 5 shutout innings. What'd you see from him?
Just what you said, a bounce back. I mean, I didn't think he pitched nearly as bad as he thought the other day, so I'm happy that hopefully he was good with that performance. Had more, but given where we're at with the off day coming around, wanted to get some guys work, but very pleased with Ras. He always gives us a chance to win.
playing? We talked before the game about the home runs, but really the whole offense has been pretty consistent for a good stretch of the season. You kind of credit that to the same
I think
thing?
it's very similar to what we talked about before the game, that they've really taken to the mindset, the approach, and I think they've kind of unified together a little bit. You can see how they always support each other, but they're talking in between at bats about different things, and I think they're falling back on, let's make sure that we're making good decisions at the plate, and when you have hits and success like we're having, you have to be.
So you'll take the 6 or 7 runs a game average.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
I think you guys have had 5 innings this season where you've batted around. Is there kind of a contagious element to it when they get rolling?
Might be. I mean, I know once you get going, you don't want to be the guy in the lineup that makes you out. So, look, just really impressed with the way the guys have swung the bat, certainly the last 2 days.
And then I know we've talked a lot about the offense. I think you now have 6 shutouts, too, in 19 games. So obviously a credit to the pitching staff and what they've done.
Yeah, our pitching's pretty special coming in. They're certainly backing it up, and they're doing a good job given, the injuries that we've had here as of late. I feel like we're on the verge of getting a little healthier, but you got to give a lot of credit to the guys that have been healthy and certainly the guys that have come up and contributed. Taj yesterday, just the entire staff.
Yeah, the run differential is another one of these numbers historically that's pretty good, like the best ever.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, we're doing good things. Hopefully, we just continue.
Yep, and I think they're one more injury away from complete catastrophe in their pitching staff.
It wouldn't be great, but I think they're going to get Siri back. Hopefully,
yep.
Maybe this series or the next one after, he should be back. It sounds like Eflin might be able to pitch on Sunday, I want to say. So there's 2 good developments there. And, again, the importance of getting out to this start. How about before play began last night, every team in the AL East was 500 or above.
Yeah.
Every team in the AL East.
Yeah.
No other division had I think one other division had 3, and everybody else should had 2. The AL East had 5. Like, this run they're on, they only have a 4-game cushion still.
Thank God they've gone to the balanced schedule, because it would be even worse this year for the Rays with all these good teams in the East.
Yeah, but they've put the pressure on the other teams behind them to get going here a little bit.
Yeah, for as well as the Rays have done in the regular season, that's always been done with the lopsided schedule and all those great teams in the AL East. Now they have an even schedule over the league.
Mm-hmm.
It's we said in the offseason that's going to be worth 5 to 7 wins right there.
Yeah, and I guess because of the pitching injuries, even though again back-to-back shutouts, I kept saying the Rays are probably going to have to slug their way out of some games, through some games right now. And I'm just wondering, when
that's coming.
When is the crash coming? Because they're not going to go 162 games where 1 through 9, everybody in the lineup for the most part, like they are right now, is just connecting at the same time.
Right.
The fact that they've done a 19-game stretch like this, even that to me is crazy enough to get 19 games where everybody's firing on all cylinders. So when's the crash coming? Who's going to revert to their mean a little bit is what I guess the big question is here for the Rays going forward.
Yeah. It's got to happen. That's baseball. So that's why we say pump the brakes. Taylor Walls ain't hitting 350 for the year. It's not.
I mean, if going into the year, if you would have told me Taylor Walls gave me 240 with his defense, I would be taking that, and I still would take it even if he dropped off here a little bit.
350 and homering from both sides of the plate.
And I want him in every day because of his defense. I love him at third over there.
Yeah. Crazy start, and now we get to see him come home, and I wonder what kind of crowds. Good weekend.
I think we're going to get good crowds tomorrow.
It should be for a weekend.
Yeah, another
weekend series.
Another team coming that's not great. Your boy Calvin Fauché is on the mound tomorrow.
Fauché.
I know you had some take on Calvin Fauché coming into the show today.
Well, it was just like everybody on Twitter was like, "Oh, Jeffrey Springs is out. We're going to make Fauché into Jeffrey Springs." It doesn't work that way. Just because he goes into his role and he's a reliever that they're turning into a starter. It just doesn't work that way. I mean, yes, the Rays have had ridiculous success just making any pitcher who's been dog crap other places become a superstar. So yeah, I'm not discounting it, but it's let's not just count it as an automatic. But who knows? We shall see. Everybody that goes into that role seems to do pretty well. So
and then get hurt eventually.
Yeah, and then get hurt, then have Tommy John surgery, which is just bananas. It's crazy.
I'm starting to get to the point. I've been through this whole thing before when the Rays have all these pitchers, and I start looking down the road, and I don't know how many times I've suckered myself into it. I think I did this in like 2018. I was like, man, we're going to have Snell and Glasnow and Honeywell and McKay.
Right.
They're all going to be in the rotation one day together.
Right.
It never happens.
Never happens.
Even this rotation.
Never happens.
I haven't even been able to see this 5-man rotation together, and it's not going to happen. The Rays, I'm convinced, will never have a healthy 5-man rotation. It just, the gods won't let it happen.
So you think at some point this year, well, Springs obviously is not coming back this year at all.
And I don't know how much you're going to get out of him next year.
So you could have, especially if they're not using stem cells. It could have been Glasnow, McClanahan, Springs, Rasmussen,
and Eflin.
Yeah. And I was hoping to get the Taj Bradley, who may be the most talented of all. So take Springs out. Just take, because that's not happening. But now you can put Taj Bradley in as your 5th. That's still ridiculous.
That's still really good.
Ridiculous.
That softens the blow a little bit.
That's not. But I mean, if you can get at some point, and like we said, you should get to that point by say July,
to where you have those 6 guys.
Yeah, those 5 guys.
Those 5 guys.
Yeah,
because Glasnow is going to be probably mid-May. Eflin back this week, so all of a sudden you'd have 4 there, and then Bradley's your 5. Maybe I don't have the concerns I thought I did.
But it's not going to happen.
Something's going to go wrong.
Something's going to go wrong.
I hope it doesn't.
To your point, something is going to go wrong.
Something always goes wrong with an injury, but we can
dream. You imagine a 5th starter throwing that guy out there who's throwing 97.
I'm at the point with
the ridiculous split, curveball, change combination. That kid's just scratching the surface of what he could be.
He doesn't know what he is.
He has no idea.
I'm at the point with Taj Bradley, and it's just 2 outings. I'm trying not to get ahead of myself because a lot of rookie pitchers struggle eventually. But can he be, is this a stretch, can he be Matt Harvey from 2013, which I believe was Matt Harvey's rookie season, and the Dark Knight was born, the All-Star appearance. I mean, through 2 games, he looks every bit the part. Could he be on that
he's
trajectory?
He's not even getting, he gave up, 5 runs the first game?
3 runs.
Three.
And in the 5th inning, he gave up 2.
Right. So, I mean, his numbers are, I don't think, indicative of the stuff that he has right now.
The first game, yeah.
Yeah.
But the second game was all lights out.
It was lights out. But he's just that good. His stuff is ridiculous. But he's got to learn to harness it. He's got to learn to pitch in sequence. And there's so much more the kid's got to learn. But the stuff is just off the charts. Do we want to hear from Rasmussen after his start yesterday?
Yeah, let's hear from him because
the understated.
Because he's also, I mean, according to Cash, he's always very hard on himself.
He is. He is ridiculously
about
hard on himself.
these outings. So let's hear what he had to say.
Yeah,
yesterday.
3 walks is too many.
Shutout innings. Did you feel like you bounced back pretty well today from that last start?
Yeah, I think the results were good. Still too many walks, but I mean that's something. If I gave up 1, there's still going to be a little bit of a complaint. But for the most part, yeah, pretty good. Created weak contact. The double play there in the 5th that Walls and Belau turned was awesome. That was huge, and so yeah, we're trending back in a good direction right now.
Are you running out of ways to describe what this offense is doing to start the season?
I mean, it's electric. I mean, 6 in the first? Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not going to complain about that. So it was awesome to see. And I mean, they're clicking, and it's a terrifying lineup. There's a lot of depth. There's left-handers, right-handers. You got to get, a ton of switch hitters. You got to get a lot of really good hitters out right now, and it's awesome when they're all clicking like this.
The other side of that, this pitching staff, despite some injuries, now has 6 shutouts in 19 games. What does that say about you guys?
Wow,
also,
shutouts.
Really good. It's once again a lot of depth, and just the competitive nature of this group. I think as a whole, offense and pitchers. And defensively, it's going to lead to a lot of success, and just our will to win and our desire to win, I think, has shown up so far in the early going, and the results have followed.
Is that something maybe people outside the clubhouse don't grasp how important that is and how valuable it is to have that?
Yeah, and I mean, we're also a really close group, which I think really helps. It's not about the individual success; it's about the team success first, and that's. I don't think you can always find that with every club in baseball, and so to have it and want to win every single day it makes coming to the park really fun.
obviously, it makes pitching easier, too, when you're up 6 like that. But it seems like with this team, it works kind of both ways. Like, the hitters are relaxed because they know they're going to see good pitching, and the pitchers can relax because you guys are hitting so much right now.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely relieves the stress on both sides with how well the pitching staff's going and how well the offense is going. And so, like I said, I don't think, I don't think enough can be said about the offensive support, and the pitching staff loves it. And on the flip side, the way we're throwing, it's also really good. It keeps the defense in there entertained and active, and I think that helps offensively. When you get stagnant out there, I think that can hurt you at the plate as well, and I think we're doing a good job of avoiding that right now.
There's Drew Rasmussen after another 5-inning stretch, 3 hits, 3 walks, way too many, and 7 strikeouts. Just dominant stuff again. Watching the game yesterday on delay, and the pace at what he works, and he just fills up the zone.
Yeah,
it's
pitch clock
relentless.
was made for him.
Oh my God, he's just relentless. He's just constant. He gets the sign, he shakes it. He's into the wine. He's like, let's go. Let's freaking, and he just pounding the zone with 95, 6-mile-an-hour fastballs and cutters that are just, high rate of spin. It's tough.
Yeah, I like how he continues to say. He's not the first one to say it. I mean, I think he said the word there, like family, having fun.
Yeah.
Really tight-knit group and everything. Like, I mean, again, these are things that I don't know how many baseball teams have that, really. And I wonder, if that could be a selling point, if they can keep this kind of core together and these good vibes going and the camaraderie and everything. If that could be a selling point to guys to want to play here.
Well, now you got rid of that bad apple, Kiermaier.
It was him along.
It was
all along it was him.
He was the one that was getting Randy and Yandy going. That was it. He was the pot stirrer.
His ego was rubbing off on everyone.
Everyone's couldn't take it anymore. Will you stop? Stop jumping for balls you don't need to jump for. Maybe that was it. Who knows? They've come together quite nicely in his departure.
They're probably like, we're a bunch of we're supposed to be the ragtag individuals. We're supposed to take that on, and here you are with your pretty self, and everybody's got your shirt and everything. Like, you're throwing our little vibe off a little bit.
We're the junkyard dogs, and you're the pretty boy. Get out of here.
Yeah.
You cute little.
Although his replacement,
Labradoodle.
His replacement, I have to add though, Jose Siri.
Yeah.
I still love the ice. Dude, I love the ice.
How come everybody had a problem with KK showboating? Siri's has turned the volume up to 10 as far as showboating goes. But everybody was okay with that.
It's one of those things you can't explain. You know what I mean, right? You can't.
I personally
can't explain it.
Yeah.
You can't explain it, but there's just a good, infectious personality there from Jose Siri. It comes off different from some people to others.
It seems like KK's always seemed a little forced or not self-aware, whereas Siri's is just on brand.
Yeah,
he's just
and
Latino.
It feels like he's going.
It just fits him so well.
That's what it is.
It's on brand.
It's that. It's like the Latino.
Oh, is that racist that I said that?
No.
Because Latin ball players like to have fun and flip bats. Am I stereotyping? No, I'm celebrating. Okay.
Well, I was going to say I love they have so many of those guys on the team,
I love
and they all mesh together and they have an identity, and I love that. Yeah. And Jose Siri too. What's making him be himself, I think, this year is Kevin Cash telling him in the offseason,
"It's your job.
Don't worry about anything.
Yeah.
You're my center fielder." So now he can be himself.
Right. You're not clinging for
I like
a
teams
roster
with personality.
spot.
This team has personality to it.
I do too. If it's well directed, it can I was going to say, good thing Dylan Brooks doesn't play for the Rays. Right?
Oh my!
I mean, that guy talks shit when he doesn't. When he doesn't. Did you see his get up after the game last night? And I mean, I will say this. I'm here for anybody who wants to get in LeBron's face. I'm down with it. I'm fine with it. I love him stirring the pot, but it's a bit much. It's like the other stuff. You would keep it on the court, whatever. Listen. That's part of the game. It's part of the game, and I think he's getting under his skin because
he ain't getting under LeBron's skin.
Last night, when he was the primary defender, they were 4 for 17. 4 for 17 when he was the primary defender. The team as a team, when he was on him, 4 for 17. So he's not allowing LeBron to make plays or make baskets.
Well, you know what? All I know.
So he's in his head.
If LeBron is the
and
player,
they beat the mighty Lakers last night without Ja.
Yeah, well, the Lakers were playing without AD.
No,
the hell was that last night?
I believe he was out there.
He was a statue out there. He didn't do anything.
Right
Jaren
on,
Jackson had
right
him in his
on
pocket.
brand. Right on brand for AD. Yeah,
one
regular season
high
game,
and one low.
Regular season game when nothing's going on and everybody's playing nice. Oh, he's going to dominate. When it gets a little sticky, where's AD go? He shrinks. He's a shrinking violet.
He's inconsistent.
He shrinks in the moment. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it, including LeBron. So, yeah.
Well,
welcome to the great disappearing act of AD.
If LeBron's the player that I know he is, if Dylan Brooks is going to call him out and say, I don't respect you until you drop 40, you're getting 50 on you tomorrow. LeBron's dropping 50. It's back in Los Angeles. I'm sorry, Dylan Brooks. You don't do these things. Don't poke certain bears. Would you poke Michael Jordan like that?
No.
Maybe people tried, right?
No.
You don't do it.
It doesn't work.
You
Michael
don't do
Jordan's making up crap.
Exactly. He's making crap
mad
up.
at people.
How about when somebody told Larry Bird about the story that he tells about, I bet you won't do this whole game left-handed. And what does he do? Plays a whole game left-handed and scores 60.
Yeah.
You don't do this to the greats.
You
don't do it.
Even at 38, don't do that to LeBron. Because he will just will his way. That's gonna be a war. Yeah, I'm when are they playing next? Saturday? What time?
It should be tomorrow or Saturday, right?
No, tomorrow. Actually, it should be tomorrow.
Are we doing one of the? Yeah. Are we giving 2 days off here for this game?
They may, yeah, because I'd heard it's Saturday.
Yeah, we got Saturday at 10 o'clock at night.
Ooh, late night. After lightning, I'll be doing post game.
There you go. I'm sure it'll be on in the Cigar City tap room.
It will, absolutely. But we'll be talking hockey. Yes, we will. All right, speaking of such, we will come back after a quick break here. Brian Bradley's going to join us, Lightning's first All-Star. He was up at the game in Toronto on Tuesday and saw all the Toronto fans filing out after the second period. So can't wait to get his perspective on Tuesday night and what's going to happen tonight. Brian Bradley coming up next. We're brought to you by the great folks at the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVESLawgroup.com, and Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Stay with us. Folks, there is no better place to shop for jewelry than the Gold and Diamond Source. They are the family jewelers, and they will treat you like family. They'll make it a fun experience. People come from all over to shop at the Gold and Diamond Source because of their great customer service and incredible, impeccable reputation. No sales pressure, no intimidation, and they have the largest selection of hand-picked diamonds. And by the way, diamonds are the April birthstone. So this month only, they are offering 15% off their diamond birthstone collection, available on select products. And you've probably heard a lot about lab-created diamonds, folks. They hold no real value. You will have no resale value whatsoever with a lab-created diamond. And of course, it's fake. It doesn't mean as much. The Golden Diamond Source has plenty of options to accommodate any budget, folks. Interest-free financing up to 5 years, a layaway program, 20% down, and only 6 monthly payments. And, of course, the Diamond Savings Account, where you get full value of your diamond when you look to upgrade. It's all there for you at the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Homerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
Oh, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. We're so glad you're joining us. Here's Tampa Bay Sports. So much to talk about. We're going to get into some Bucks talk. Gerald McCoy with some interesting comments yesterday to the Pewter Report. We're going to get to that. We got a lot of draft news coming up. But we're going to talk some more Bolts right now with the Lightning's first all-star and leading scorer in those first few years, the great Brian Bradley, joining us now. What's up, partner? How are you?
Hey, JP Peterson. How are you doing, buddy? Everything's good, man. Beautiful Florida. Back here today. I was in Toronto for Game 1. Wow. A 7-3 victory. It was so quiet in Toronto. They didn't even know what was going on.
That must have been fun for you guys for the Bolts contingent. So, I guess, you take some of the clients and everybody up there. That must have been a good time watching all those Leaf fans file out after the second period.
Yeah, you know what? It was, honestly, when we were going into the game, you didn't know what to expect because, you know what? I'm going in. It's not like we were playing the best hockey and, all the hype was on Toronto and, Matthews, Marner, Tavares, and all their guys, Nylander, and man, we came out in that first period and absolutely destroyed Toronto. I mean, it was impressive to watch. Probably one of the best hockey periods I've seen. They were up 3-0. Toronto was absolutely shell-shocked. Couldn't skate. We were skating. It was like we were twice as fast as they were, and they had no answers for anything.
Brian, is that just nerves and pressure? The home team.
People were pissed off. It was awesome to watch.
Yeah, we're having a little trouble with your reception here, but I was saying, is that because Toronto, the pressure, the nerves? I've talked to athletes that say, in a lot of these big games that they lost all their energy, their nervous energy in warm-ups. They're so keyed up for the game. They're out there skating around in the first period, and they look like chickens with their head cut off. Is that sometimes you just get overamped? Is that what happened to Toronto, or is just the Lightning just overwhelming in their pressure on them?
I think they were just overwhelming in their pressure, JP. And you know what? Just watching the game. I mean, this is the first year I think Toronto in the last. Well, they've lost every year in the first round, but maybe this is the first year where they've been the favorite.
Yeah.
Where like the Lightning are not the favorite to win the series. And you know what? The pressure's on Toronto.
Yeah.
So our guys just went out there and said, you know what? Hey, we're not the favorite. They're the ones that need to put a show on and show everybody why they're the favorite. But like John Cooper, he had a great quote. I wouldn't bet against these guys.
Damn right.
These guys are winners. And you know what? They came out in that first period. We were in shock watching the game, how good we played. Vazzy was good. Power play was executing. I mean, the only thing about game 1 that, Victor Hedman, he only played a period. Very concerning. Not sure what's going on there. And then Chernak got hit. That was a bad hit by Bunting.
Yeah.
I mean, he got a 3-game suspension, but that's an intent to injure. It was a dirty hit. Doesn't matter what time of game it was or whatever. He had nothing, but he was trying to target his head.
And one of the other things with the first period that you mentioned, I thought the school bus line, which I was surprised they were back together for this playoff game. I thought they jump-started the team throughout the first period, and Corey Perry played one of the better games I've seen him play probably all year. Can you just speak to the effort of that fourth line, and Perry in particular, how valuable it is to have someone like that around?
Oh, you know what? It was unbelievable. I mean, I thought Corey Perry was outstanding. He had more jump and more legs. I thought Belmar was amazing. I thought the whole fourth line, Maroon was awesome too. And you know what? They really took it to the other team. I mean, I thought the whole team played so well in the first. I'm actually going to give credit to. I thought Mikey Esamont. I thought Nick Paul, and I thought Ross Colton were awesome too.
Yeah.
I mean, they were really good. That was the line that I had circled before the game. Was like, I don't know. Can these guys play against Toronto? Are they going to be able to hold up? Because they're going to have to play against Tavares or Matthews Marner, because you can't match lines because they had the last change.
Right.
And you know what? They were awesome too. I thought lines 3 and 4 were as good as any lines on the ice for any team. Yeah. They were that good.
Yeah, and where does that come from? I mean, we haven't seen really a lot of that all year long. And, we always talk about the Lightning being able to flip a switch, but, everybody else in sports will tell you that's not a thing. You can't really do it. But if I've ever seen a team do it, it's this Lightning team. And they, and we've said it all year long, Brian, that they've just kind of been bored. They know that the real season starts right now, and it really feels like they've been saving up for it. And that's what we saw in Game 1.
Yeah, you know what? You're exactly right. I mean, looking at the playoffs last year at this time, we went to Toronto at 2-time Stanley Cup champs. Going into Game 1, we lost 5-0.
Right.
We were so bad. I was at that game too, and you know what? It was almost like a flip this year.
Yeah.
And I said going into the game, everybody asked, "What do you think?" And I said, "You know what? I feel good tonight."
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I feel like the Lightning learned their lesson. They're not the favorites to win. They're the underdogs. There's no pressure. They're going to come out, and man, did they come out. You couldn't even have scripted any better. It was absolute clinic, and they were booing in Toronto, and it just got worse.
Yeah.
And you know what? Toronto came back. It was 3-1. They made it 3-2, but then that guy took a dumb penalty, and we scored 3 goals. So,
exactly.
Point played good. Kucherov had a great shot. Ross Colton scored. Belmore had one. Corey Perry. It was just a clinic to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was so much fun. And, tonight's going to be a tough game. Toronto knows what's at stake, guys. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Toronto has to win tonight or the series is over, in my opinion.
Agreed.
You can't lose 2 at home coming back to Tampa.
Agreed.
You're killing yourself.
Agreed. Brian Bradley joining us here. So as we turn the page to this game, Bunting is out for 3, but he also took Chernak out for an indefinite amount of time. He's definitely not playing tonight. I've heard he's feeling okay and should be back for the rest of the series, but you never know with concussions. Asimov, same thing, took a shot to the head. So, so what is going on in the Lightning dressing room right now? Because they know that 2 of their players are out because they got cheap shotted to the head. But you can't be giving Toronto power play opportunities. Tanner Jeannot's probably going to play tonight. So do we want him going out and just settling a score early on, getting put in the box, and Toronto going up 1-0? No, right? So how do you play this? What is Cooper's message to don't back down, but don't take stupid penalties?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's the whole thing. You can't back down, but you can't take dumb penalties. And you know what? I'll tell you, we were up 3-0, total control of the game. Everything was going good. And you know what? Chernak to me, it was a stupid penalty. He hit Bunting in the corner after the whistle. That didn't even need to happen. The play wasn't on. And, Toronto came out with no life in the second period and scored a goal.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the crowd's in it. Chernak didn't need to do that. You want to hit the guy, hit him when he's got the puck and lay him right through the boards. That's part of the game. But after the whistle, I thought it was a bad call. It was a good call by the refs.
Right.
Totally undisciplined by Chernak. Gave Toronto life. They made it 3-2. And then thank God they took that stupid penalty by Bunting because it was a major. And you know what? I'm glad they reviewed it and then gave a match penalty.
Yep.
But that changed the game again.
Yep.
Those 2 hits changed the momentum. And, if Toronto doesn't do that, they maybe get back in the game. It was 3-2. And you know what? You have to be disciplined when you play. Yeah, you're pissed off. You got hit. The guy took a cheap shot at you. There's no time to go and get a penalty and take a 5-minute major or a 2-minute penalty. Toronto has a great power play.
Right.
They got 4 or 5 superstar players on their team, and they will make you pay like the Lightning. So you have to be disciplined. You have to know the situation. Hey, if the score's 5-1, yeah, take a shot at him. Who cares?
Yeah. Right.
Take a shot at him, drop the gloves, fight, get the game out of hand. Who cares? But not when you're winning 3 or 4-0. You don't want to do anything to change the flow of the game. And Chernak did. He took a bad penalty and it really got us in trouble for about 10 minutes.
And speaking for Toronto, I mean, Sansonov, I mean, his playoff resume is not great. I think he's 1-7 now. He led in 6 in that game, and Sheldon Keefe's going to go back to him. Do you think he probably has a short lease, and what do you think of that decision to go back to him here, given the track record that he's had in the postseason?
Well, what is his record? 1-8, I think, in the playoffs or something. It's not impressive at all. And, I mean, you got to remember too. It's like you're playing against a guy in net on the other end is the best goalie in the NHL, and you're talking about being up there with Patrick Waugh, Dominic Hasek, Marty Brodeur, which is Vasilevsky. Those guys know it on the other team that you get 2 or 3 goals against us, we have to score 4. That's not easy. And you know what? You don't think that kid knows he's playing against Vasilevsky? It's like playing tennis against Federer and Nadal, or you're going to play, against, you're an underdog team and you got to play a match against somebody. It's hard to do. You're probably not going to win, but you got to go out there and compete. And hopefully the team plays well for you. But, Vasilevsky makes a difference. He's like a Tom Brady in quarterback. He can win games by himself.
Sure he can.
And, he had to play good last game, let's be honest with you. I mean, the game was never in jeopardy. We were like, oh, God, thank God he made the save. The game was kind of over at the beginning.
Yeah.
So, but we're going to have to – Vasilevsky's going to have to steal the game by himself.
Yeah, and that might be tonight. And that might be tonight because Toronto's going to come out with uber energy. The place is going to be going bananas, and if they get up early, it can be a little bit of a landslide. So, but that's where, a hot goalie can just steal the game. So we'll see if that happens tonight. Hey, and quickly, Brads, how about the Panthers beating Boston last night 6-3? And I thought they outplayed them in game 1 as well. So now the Panthers go back home with the series tied. They've got the home ice now, and they've got to be feeling really good about themselves the way they've played in this series. They've been the better team.
Oh, you know what? I watched the game last night. I think I did watch the game the other night too.
Yeah.
And you know what? Boston played great last night. It was 6-3. Florida played great. It was 6-3. It could have been even more.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? Pasternak was a no-show. A lot of their guys, haven't really stepped up. Marchand scored. I know Bergeron's on the lineup.
Right.
They said he was sick with the flu or something, but he's injured.
Yeah.
They're not telling the truth. So he's got an injury. No one knows what it is, but he definitely doesn't have the flu or sick. But, going to Florida 1-1, they're not out of it right now, you guys.
No.
This is going to be interesting because I still say Boston in 6, but you know what? It's not going to be easy because, you know what? Florida's going to be rocking. The place will be rocking. And you know what? They got a team that learned a lot last year playing Tampa and losing 4 straight. Yeah. They got something to prove to people. It's just like Carolina. You look at the Rangers. Rangers went in and destroyed New Jersey 5-1.
Yeah. They'll play again tonight. And how about the Kraken beating Colorado in game 1?
Yeah. Everybody on the road won that night.
Yeah, that's right.
We won. Kraken won. Everybody won. Everyone. The Rangers won. Everybody won the game on the road, that doesn't happen a lot, especially in the first round. You're going to have some upsets, but, everybody that plays on the road doesn't win that game. It was crazy to look at the stats and see all the teams who won game 1 on the road. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
But there's pressure. There's pressure on the home team.
Yeah.
They got to put it out for their fans. And, Toronto's a favorite, and, man, they did not play good. I don't think I've ever seen Matthews and Marner play that bad. They were terrible.
Yeah.
They were not. And you know what? You can look at the stat sheets and say, well, Mitch Marner had 3 assists and this and that, and Matthews had 2 assists.
No, they weren't.
They were not
take
good.
Over the game. Yeah,
they were not even in a factor. They were like, hey, the guy scored on a second pass. It wasn't even. They're going to be better tonight. Trust me. The Lightning know that these guys are bringing their A game tonight.
Yeah.
Because they know what's at stake. You have to win. You're not going to beat Tampa 4-5. No way.
Yeah.
Not with guys in that.
All right.
No way.
You're going to be out at the big watch party tonight at Sparkman Wharf?
Yeah, I'm actually going to go down there for about an hour or so and chit-chat about the game. So I'm going to go to the watch party at Sparkman Wharf at 7 o'clock tonight.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you down there, partner. Might have a
All
cold
right.
beer with you. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. The great.
Sounds good. See you, JP.
Great
Have a
Brian
great
Bradley.
day. Go Bolts.
Go Bolts. Go Bolts. It's gonna be fun tonight at the Sparkman. You're going to get on to Sparkman Wharf.
I think I've never been to a watch party at Sparkman Wharf.
Oh, you've not?
No.
Oh, they're really fun.
I used to
really
love the
fun.
ones.
Parking's a bitch, but
I love the ones at Curtis Hickson a little better because
Yeah,
there's
a
more
little bit more
space,
space, yeah.
for me to kind of maneuver around. Or the ones in front of Emily. So this will be a little different.
yeah, but I think the Lightning own that whole space over there. That's part of Vinnick World. So
See, I don't even know how it
I think
works.
They get
so
a better rate.
I don't know how this works because my friends are talking about this. Like, you go to the other watch parties, and usually, like, you bring chairs and all that. How's it work down there?
I think you can't bring chairs. Maybe I shouldn't be talking out of turn, but I believe you can bring chairs. The last ones I went to last year, yeah, they have the big green area, the fake turf area.
Yeah.
And that's where it's not a huge area, so you got to get there early. And I don't know if they're opening up they used to open up the parking lot too and put up a big screen, but I don't think they're doing that. I think it's just on Sparkman Wharf. So yeah, you got to get there early.
Might be a little tough to see the first period
to get
too.
a spot. Yeah, you can always duck into Splitsville and some of the other bars
Yeah.
there that they have there, and you can watch them in there too. So a lot of options downtown now. If you don't get a spot there, there's plenty of other options.
I
So.
got to feel the energy.
Yeah.
I need to feel the energy. Can't replicate it in my own home.
And my Lightning Vision crew does their whole game production too. So Greg's
There you
there,
go.
and they do giveaways and Thunderbug's there. I mean, yeah, if you want to be part of the movement, that's a great place to
I'm
go.
hoping they pull it out because I'm plan on being there on Saturday. Hopefully.
Okay.
That's my plan at the moment.
To go to the playoff game.
To go to the game itself.
Yeah.
Because if they keep advancing, this is where I stop going to the games because the ticket prices just get outrageous.
yeah,
So the
yeah.
first round's the one to go to.
I just see if I can get you a credential because it's still local credentialing for playoffs. And NHL takes over. I think in the conference finals, maybe. I think, not quite sure, but yeah. So that's Don't forget Saturday's the home game, 7:00, and then Monday is 7:30. So we got two big home games. Get your tickets now. Get there early for the warm-ups and my pregame show.
We don't need a slow riding crowd.
No, that's no, because we've had issues with this, and folks, I know that it can be a pain in the ass, but with these electronic tickets, you got to get there 15 minutes earlier than you normally do. Get in your seats, be ready in the beginning of the game, because we need all the buzz we can get against this. I mean, do not be fooled by this first game. Like we said, Lightning lost the first game 5-0 last year, and everybody said, "Oh, they're in trouble now." So Toronto will respond tonight. I would expect, honestly, for this series to be 1-1 heading into Saturday night. It's going to be a tough go for the Lightning tonight to win this game without Chernak, without Eyssimont, and all the energy that's going to go into it. That's going to be a hornet's nest. But get greedy, like Coop said. Get greedy. Go get the second one. I don't put anything past this team to win tonight, but it's going to be tough. It's a tall order when you steal the first game like that.
Yeah. And speaking of something we talk about a lot on here, Richie's comment, we'll see how Panthers and Bruins end up, but let's hope this is Exhibit Z of having the most wins in the regular season means nothing.
Nothing.
Which it does.
It's a brand new season, kids, and the Lightning know that. And so where you put that into practice is during the regular season.
Yeah.
Where
Maybe that's
you just cruise.
And maybe that's probably Toronto. I mean, people forget these last two seasons. This is the most points they've ever had in a regular season.
Toronto.
Yeah. This is their best regular season of all
111 points
time.
this year.
111
It's
points.
a great season.
Which in most years that wins you the division.
Easy.
But outside of Boston having a crazy year. But yeah, to Richie's point, I mean, I watched that game. I've watched both those games. Boston, to me, has gotten outplayed in both.
Both.
And
Yes.
Patrice Bergeron, he was out with the illness game one. It sounds like there's an undisclosed injury there now with him. And he's the engine of that team. And I don't think they can win the series without him.
And I'll just, from what I watched last night, and I caught it like second period, and it was tied after two. It was 2-2, and they went on to score three unanswered goals, the Panthers did. Montour with a slap shot that beat Olmark way too easily. Maybe he was screened on it. But, that's what we talked about. Goaltending in the playoffs is different. And Olmark is, what's his record now? He's 2-6.
Yeah.
For his
career, yeah.
For his career. They're 2-5. Not good. And then you look at Vasi's numbers.
Look at New Jersey game one. I mean, Vanacek came in this season and was a big difference for New Jersey, finally getting them a goaltender. But you go into game one at home, and on the other end of the ice, like Brad said, you got Shesterkin.
Yeah.
And you got to match that guy's level of play. And he couldn't do it. And
Right.
that's why I think New Jersey's in trouble in their series. The goaltending runs the playoffs.
Fascinating NHL playoffs. And the NBA. The NBA has got some storylines. I'm here to tell
Always got storylines.
I'm not a huge fan of the league, but these playoffs are something different.
I wake up when the playoffs come.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll take a break.
Well, I feel like we have to get into the Bucks because of a tweet that you have showed me.
Oh my God. Yes.
Got to get to that.
Evidently, Devin White, I don't know if he's listening to our show, but I'm sure we're not the only show that's ripping him. He has taken umbrage with us.
And you fans.
And you fans. And you fans. Awful people that you are. So, and we got to talk about GMC. I got a problem with Gerald McCoy.
Ooh.
I will explain. So we got lots more to go. Half hour left. Stay with us here. JP Peterson Show brought to you by the Golden Diamond Source at American Mortgage Services. Scott Fitzgerald will get you the best mortgage at the best rates with the cheapest fees. I know it's expensive now, but some people still need to get a mortgage. He will find you the best program that will take advantage of interest rates if they come down. So talk to him. They're very creative over there. They've got some very interesting programs going on. American Mortgage Services, Scott at amstampa.com. Back in 3. Insurance coverage can be confusing and expensive. I mean, where do you start? Which companies can you count on to pay out fast and fair? Well, call the great folks at Italiano Insurance. It's a family-owned business. Jeff and Nat Italiano are carrying on the 60-year-plus tradition of giving amazing customer service and giving back to the community through their annual backpack drive for needy students and their support of the local pediatric cancer patients. But it's the customer service that sets them apart. They can shop all your insurance needs and save you big-time money. Don't hop on the internet and waste time looking at some bogus reviews. Talk to knowledgeable agents and not some voice-generated robot. These are confusing times for homeowners, and Italiano's team of experienced professionals can provide the right coverage for every situation: home, auto, business, life. It's Italiano for all the pieces of your life. Call 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com. Well, Fitz the mortgage guy did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, Scott at amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to Scott at amstampa.com. Folks, there is no better place to shop for jewelry than the Gold and Diamond Source. They are the family jewelers, and they will treat you like family. They'll make it a fun experience. People come from all over to shop at the Gold and Diamond Source because of their great customer service and incredible, impeccable reputation. No sales pressure, no intimidation, and they have the largest selection of hand-picked diamonds. And by the way, diamonds are the April birthstone. So this month only, they are offering 15% off their diamond birthstone collection, available on just select products. And you probably heard a lot about lab-created diamonds, folks. They hold no real value. You will have no resale value whatsoever with a lab-created diamond. And of course, it's fake. It doesn't mean as much. The Golden Diamond Source has plenty of options to accommodate any budget, folks. Interest-free financing up to 5 years, a layaway program, 20% down, and only 6 monthly payments. And, of course, the Diamond Savings Account, where you get full value of your diamond when you look to upgrade. It's all there for you at the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Homerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's rock.
this is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show as we roll through on this Thursday, getting ready for Game 2 tonight in Toronto. The Rays are off, but they will be back in action this weekend at Tropicana Field So we got that going for us. So Devin White just tweeted something out, and you tweeted something, retweeted or quote tweeted it, and responded. And I think you responded perfectly. So do that for us, if you would.
So Devin White, 9:33 a.m. this morning, tweeted, "Never understood how people could use their platform to tear another person down. This really a cold world that we live in." And I responded to his tweet with a team captain in Devin White requests a trade from the Bucks, then flirts with another team on social media, and then gets upset when fans and media are critical of him. Did I get that right?
I think you did.
I think I nailed it.
I think you
did. I got no time for this anymore.
This so immature.
This is, and here's the funny.
This is the guy that wants to make $20 million a year, be the captain of your squad.
He's thin-skinned.
And be the leader. Be the leader.
He's proven to me he's thin-skinned. He proved it during the season last year when he didn't want to talk to the media about his thing. When he wanted to go back and forth with Warren Sapp, who called him out justifiably so. And also, I find it very funny that the team he's flirting with there is the Philadelphia Eagles. And, we've had some people from Philly on. John Kincaid, a good friend of yours.
Yeah.
What do you think John Kincaid and all the guys at Philly would say if Devin White put on some of that tape that he had last year?
Well,
what
not
would the
only
reaction
that, their reaction to what he's doing on social media.
Or being a petulant baby on social media.
Yeah, that's not – you think you want to go play in Philadelphia, bro, and you want to put that tape out there, they'll roast you.
We're probably being light on him over here.
Tampa Bay media, are you kidding me? Are you joking? Softest media ever. This market, there's no big dog anymore. There's no Chris Thomas anymore. No. This is if you're a player, and this is why Devin White thinks he can get away with it. I think Devin White knows he's a fraud. And this is him.
He's insecure. He comes off like.
Exactly. And he knows that he needs to talk his way and boast his way and smoke and mirror his way into a $20 million contract.
And it hasn't
Devin
worked.
White is a good player. He's a good player that could be great. But this attitude of his is the reason he's not great. He wants to be famous. He doesn't want to be a great player. He doesn't want to do what it takes to sacrifice to be a great player, in my opinion. Sorry, Devin. I've loved you and supported you for a long time, but this immaturity is manifested in your play. We see it. You haven't gotten any better in terms of getting off blocks or in coverage. You haven't learned better techniques. You're still over-aggressive. You still don't play it to 100% at times. You're a good player. You're not a great player. You're not a $20 million a year player. You're not a $15 million a year player, in my opinion. And this is one of the reasons why. I'm sorry. It's just how do you rip everybody for – if you're going to come out and do this immature stuff, people are going to call you out on it. And so I can't believe people use their platform to tear people down. We're not unreasonably tearing you down. You've brought this upon yourself. I don't see Mike Evans out there doing this stuff. I don't see Vita Vea out there doing this stuff. And guess what? They got second contracts. That's why. Because they're mature leaders and great players. The way you've handled your business, you're not going to get it. You're doing yourself a great disservice by acting this way. And I agree. Maybe there's a team out there that will do it. You're hurting your trade value, by the way.
What's he helping himself right now?
He's not.
And whatever this tweet was intended to do, I've read through all the quote tweets in the comments. I don't see anybody going, "Oh yeah, Devin, you're right. You're right. This is a cold world we live in." Nobody's coming.
So cold.
Nobody's coming to this guy's defense.
It's such a cold world we live in. You play football, and you make you're gonna make $11 million this year. Oh, what a terrible world. Oh, and people are saying mean things to you. Oh, I feel so sorry for him. Oh my gosh. Go talk to the teacher who has 4 kids and is getting my friend's teacher getting a divorce and doesn't have the money to hire a lawyer, has 4 kids at home, and has to go to school every day and teach 4th graders on $45,000 a year. Speaking of 45, that's a cold world. The world you live in is not cold, and if you think some people banging on you for your immaturity on social media it's hurting you so much that this is a cold world. Wow. Man, wow. That's all I can say. I mean, at least you could do is embrace it and say, "Bring it on. You all want to rip me? This is who I am. This is what I'm going to do. Fine. Oh, it's a cold world we live in when people use their platforms to tear other people down. Oh.
You know what? I have a perfect. I'm going to read a few lines here real quick.
Okay.
And this is perfect, and you might remember this, even though you're a wrestler hater. One of the greatest promos of all time.
Right.
Dusty Rhodes, Hard Times.
Dusty Rhodes.
The American Dream.
The American Dream, the bionic elbow.
Hard Times. Let me read you a few excerpts from Hard Times.
Thank you.
Because I think this is relevant.
Devin White, listen up.
Hard times are when the textile workers around this country are out of work. They got 4 or 5 kids and they can't pay their wages.
Yep.
Can't buy their food. Hard times are when the auto workers are out of work and they tell them to go home. Hard times are when a man has worked a job for 30 years. 30 years, they give him a watch, kick him in the butt, and say, hey, a computer took your place, Daddy. That's hard times.
That's hard times.
That's hard times. Devin White is not dealing with hard times.
There's a lot of people going through hard times right now.
Okay.
A lot of people going
And
through
you want to know why
hard
that
times.
promo is the best promo maybe of all time? Because it was real.
Yeah.
It was real.
It's real.
And I bring that up today because I think it's very relevant because I think Devin White is trying to go on this little soap opera tour right now and trying to get all these people on his side of look at me, what I'm going through. They don't value me and this and that. And it's a bunch of bull. And I think everybody knows it.
I think a lot of these professional athletes have completely lost perspective on life. And you know, and I was talking about this the other day, and I think it's why a lot of people are turned off to professional sports right now. Is because, you know, people like Devin White think it's this cold place. You know, it's all your tough life you live, man. So, and Gerald McCoy, you know, I've always liked Gerald McCoy. He was always a stand-up guy. I thought he got villainized way too much because the team around him was awful. He was one of the few parts of the team that were good, and everybody thought that it was his fault. No, the team sucked around him. It was awful. He went to 6 straight Pro Bowls and getting double and triple teamed most all the time. So I was a big supporter of his. But even his quotes from yesterday, I guess he did a podcast, and he was upset at the Bucs organization because of the way they parted ways with him. Yeah. Can you read some of those quotes while I look
I'm pulling up the article, which was done here in Pewter Report.
If I'm not mistaken, the Bucs made him the highest paid defensive tackle at one point.
They did, yes. So he told this was in 2021, I believe. Talking about he still wanted to come play for the Bucs. He said, "I told Tampa, hey, listen, I don't even have to play. I just want to be a mentor. Y'all are doing a lot of wrong up front. Y'all have talent, and y'all aren't rushing together. Guys are not getting on edges. They just run down the middle of people. So a lot of things that I could help with, just teaching guys, this is how you rush together. Even if I'm on the practice squad, I'm still sitting in meetings. It didn't happen, and it's okay. I just helped from afar, texting guys here and there. Hey, try to do this, this, and this. Really, it was Tampa, still got a house there. So that was the comments about how he wanted to come back. And then he had some other ones. He was really bothered by the fact that the Bucs decided to cut him after 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't like that they didn't give him a nice farewell. And they acted like he had done nothing for the organization. And then they signed Ndamukong Suh, and they gave him his number right away, not even letting it sit there for a year out of respect. He gave it immediately to Ndamukong Suh, and it made him feel like he didn't contribute what he thought he did to the organization.
I just listen, I understand that some guys get send-offs, and maybe you didn't like your send-off. Here's the send-off that I like. His first contract at an entry level was 5 years, $55 million, 20.8, and he got all of that, $55 million. His next contract was 6 years, $95 million, $200,000. 51 of it guaranteed. He played through the whole contract. The whole contract. No, I take that back. In 2019, he missed the last 2 years of that contract. In 2019, he made $8 million with the Panthers. And then his final one with the Cowboys, he got a signing bonus of $3 million, never played a game. So Gerald McCoy made well over $140 million, $150 million playing football. And you want to come at me with they gave your number away and you were disrespected and they didn't throw you a big enough party on your way out the door. I just, in this day and age that we live in, I'm sorry. I just can't weep for you. I just can't weep for you. Did we need to, send up a bat signal and him come out in his Batman outfit and at the game or something, and thank you, Gerald McCoy, for all you've done for us and never leading us to the playoffs, and and it wasn't his fault, but I don't get this. I'm butthurt because I didn't get a big enough cake. You got $140 million a cake.
Yeah.
What thank you? Is that not a big enough thank you?
Yeah.
We love you. I mean, it's you guys.
The exact quote here was this. He said, "For me to leave, what the Bucks didn't do is when I left, whether we parted ways or not, there was no post of thank you, goodbye. Man, they just gave, what's this kicker's name, the one that kicked during the Super Bowl, Ryan Suckup left, didn't re-sign with the Bucks, and they gave him a farewell post. When I left, I got nothing. I leave. Y'all just said F me. There was no let's give it a year, again, regarding it down to giving his number to Sue." That was the quote.
Dude, I'm sorry.
So he's mad that he didn't get a thank you on Twitter, whereas Ryan Suckup got one.
I bet Ryan Suckup would trade the money that Gerald McCoy made for the goodbye post.
I'll just put this.
These guys don't they maybe people aren't saying this, what I'm saying, but I live in the real world. I've been a blue collar. I mean, people think we make a lot of money here doing what we do, or I've made tons of money in my life. I've had some good years. But those big paydays, working at Channel 8 are long gone. I'm a blue collar guy. Always have been. I've been working since I was 10 years old, mowing lawns. And I have a little bit of perspective on what it's like to be rich and be affluent, at some points in my life. And I was very thankful. And I remember the first contract I ever got from Channel 8, looking at the number going, holy crap, they're going to pay me this to do what I do? This is insane. This is the greatest thing ever. And these guys make so much money. And by the way, there is something that's been totally forgotten. I've known enough athletes in my day on a personal level and been behind the scenes and see how the sausage is made in professional sports to know that these guys, they don't live and breathe pewter and red or lightning blue. I mean, they're organizationally, yes, they think, but it's a profession. It's a job. But it's always their job to give the fans the illusion that they're not playing for money, that they're playing for the love of the game, and they're playing their ass off, and they're playing as hard as they can, and they'll do anything and run through a wall to win for you, the fans. Now, that's not entirely true, but you're supposed to, as a professional athlete, at least continue that illusion. These guys today don't give a rat's ass. Load management, I ain't playing tonight. I ain't playing because I'm butthurt. I didn't get a good thank you. People are using their platform to be mean to me, even though I bring it upon myself. You guys sound like a bunch of whiny bitches. You do. You do. Compared to the people that are out there paying your salary? Shut the F up. You're playing a game for a living. You guys act like this is like real life. You get a little criticism. So what? So what? You're in the public eye. You're in the arena. Accept it. It's part of it. Laugh, pick up your big freaking check, and shut up. I don't know. I just can't get along, with all this. Oh, I got disrespected. I deserve more money because, I'm Devin White, and I'm going to be the highest paid linebacker because I said I was going to be. Go let your play do the talking. You'll get the contract if you go play like a superstar, which you do not. You should be damn happy you're getting $11.7 million to play for the Bucks this year. You should be thrilled with that. All right. Is that enough?
That's a good rant.
I don't have anything personal against Devin White or Gerald McCoy. But, like I said, I like both of those guys when they came in and when they play hard and they do the things they're supposed that they should be doing as a professional athlete.
I can think two things at once here. I think Gerald has received way too much vitriol from the fans.
I agree with that.
I think that's understandable.
I think I said that at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm with him there. But the comments about the whole Sue thing, I remember that became a big deal that summer when they gave Sue his number, and then he went on Skip and Shannon and made a point to bring it up, and that's what made this a whole firestorm. Listen, I think Gerald needs to understand, and I think we know this, at the time when they brought in Sue, he was what the Bucks needed. There needed to be a change there. a different mentality standpoint, a new voice in the dressing room, I guess, so to say. And even the thing that he said here about Ryan Suckup got a thank you and I didn't, well, as much as I love Gerald McCoy and what he did for the Bucs for the years he was there, I can make the argument, and I think it's a strong one, that Ryan Suckup has actually meant more to the organization than Gerald McCoy did. Because the Bucs had no kicker for about 15 years.
He was a huge part
and
of the
Ryan
Super Bowl
Suckup
run.
solidified that.
He didn't freaking miss.
I wasn't
a big
having
kick.
to have a knot in my stomach every time there was an extra point or a kick or anything like that in front of 50 yards. Let's put that preface in front of it. And he won a Super Bowl. He's a Super Bowl kicker. So yeah, I think Ryan Suckup actually did more for the organization than Gerald McCoy did. And that's not a slight against Gerald McCoy. I just think everything I just said is factual there. Now, does Gerald McCoy deserve a thank you post and he didn't get one? Sure, of course he did. They give thank you posts to everybody. But the fact that he's still going to go on about it 5 years later, it just seems like sour grapes a little bit to me.
I didn't get a bye-bye post from Channel 8 when they let me go, downsizing. I mean, and I feel like if I came out publicly and said that, I would just sound like a bitch. I didn't get a thank you from Channel 8 when they let me work and have my last night and give my goodbye to everybody. It was fantastic.
And all the other stuff.
Great run.
And all the other stuff with Warren Sapp that he said. Again, I get it. Gerald McCoy was a Bucs fan because of Warren Sapp.
Yeah.
He got lucky enough to be drafted by this organization, and he was very close to Warren. He said, he used to come over to my house. He played with my kids, all this kind of stuff, and he feels like Warren kind of turned on him a little bit because of the first comments he made. And he said, because Warren said, you aren't one of us. You didn't win anything here, so stop talking. Essentially, is what Warren told him.
Ouch, babe.
And I mean, listen.
And that's totally.
Am I saying anything out of line here that Warren is a world class? You know what?
No, you're not. I'm not certainly going to side with Warren Sapp in this. And because my God, if Gerald McCoy was playing with Rondé Barber and John Lynch and Derek Brooks and the Crane and Simeon Rice.
Yeah, everybody talks about everybody talks about how Gerald McCoy was never a double-digit sack guy and all this kind of stuff. And first of all, the couple things there, for the time that he played with the Bucs, I think he was in the top 3 along with Geno Atkins and Fletcher Cox of sacks at his position.
Yeah, absolutely.
So number one, what more do you want? Number 2, if you put Gerald McCoy in that Bucs team in 2002, they still win the Super Bowl, I'd argue.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, Warren Sapp having 16.5 sacks that season, I'm pretty sure a lot of that had to do with the guys he was playing around.
You're damn right it did. And the coverage and the schemes and everything.
Okay, that Gerald just wasn't afforded that when he was here. Gerald was the guy getting double-teamed every single game.
Was Warren Sapp better than Gerald McCoy? Hell yes.
Yes, but he's also one of the top 5 defensive tackles of all time.
Yeah, and he's also played with a great defense and a great coordinator. It's a team game. It's a team game. You don't think those guys? You don't think Brad Culpepper grabbing guys and holding them all the time so they couldn't get the double team Sapp didn't help? Of course it did.
Or Simeon Rice probably got the double teams on that 02 year.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't sleep on Greg Spires coming off the edge either. And Booger McFarland played next to him one year too. So
yeah, it's a different when Gerald McCoy is playing next to Styles G. White, and Jacques Smith, and all these other guys.
Total cheap shot by Warren Sapp to say you didn't win anything.
Like you're not one of us.
Right. And look, was Ndamukong Suh a better player? Yes, he was than Gerald McCoy. They were both really good in their time. But and I will defend Gerald McCoy on that. I do think the fans have been, they've sided with Sapp in this beef, and it's just not.
Oh my God.
It's not. But you still sound like a bitch.
Richie said, yes, Richie disagrees with us. He says, put Gerald McCoy on that Super Bowl defense, and Booger is doing high school games in Louisiana.
Wow. Well, Booger he got injured that year, didn't he?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And James says Ryan Suckup won games for the Bucs. McCoy was lucky that he was drafted before they changed the rules. His first contract was $50 million guaranteed. He was drafted today. It might be different. You're damn right it would be. That's what I'm saying. I mean, dude, you made like $140 million playing football in the NFL. Okay, and just like and just bitch and somebody gave my number away. They didn't give me a thank you. I'm sorry, dude. Really?
It's not the greatest look for Gerald.
No.
And
I think all these guys feel, God, if you're disrespected by that.
And I feel like, honestly, I know he really wants to.
See some of the things people say to me.
No kidding on that one. You gotta have thick skin.
You gotta laugh it off,
when you're
man.
in a public medium, you work in a public field and everything, and everything you say or do is out there.
Right.
You have to learn to live with it. And I know athletes know that.
I mean, you've gone through it the last couple of years. The first time people come at you, it kind of sucks.
Listen, I worked at an organization where you want to talk about getting scrutinized for everything you write, even if it just had anything, even if it was just straight down the middle. Okay,
right.
I would read that's the thing. When I first got in here, I would be that guy that just reads through the comments of my articles.
Yeah.
And be that guy.
Yeah, don't do that.
And I didn't ever respond. I just left it alone because I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's got a right to say what they want.
Right.
But now I don't even look at those things anymore. I shut it off.
Right.
And I feel like that's the same thing as an athlete. You just got to shut it off.
If you're an athlete and you're on, I mean, we have to be on social media and we have to react to people. So unfortunately, I read most everything that comes in. But I will say this: when it starts going negative and people are just taking personal attacks, I block them and I don't read it.
I just turn it off because at the end of the day, I'm not going to see that person ever.
Ever.
Twitter is not the real world.
No.
And I don't care. It's a platform for you to voice your opinion, and that's that.
And the thing is, it does get in your head. If you read it, it will get in your head.
It will.
It's strong. You can be as mentally strong as you want. And I think I have a pretty good attitude about it. You laugh about it, but you still think about it. So it's better off to not let the garbage get into your head. And when people are being, ridiculous and personal and not debating the issues, you just say bye-bye and move on and don't read it. And that goes for things in your personal life as well. I would advise you with that as well. So when it gets whoever that loved one might be, when it starts getting nasty, and they're just doing it to hurt you, it's not how they truly feel. You hope. I just giving you, Dr. JP giving you a little bit of learned lessons from my life. No, I'm not going to read that. I'm going to till I see where this is going. I'm not going to read that. Bye-bye. And then when you tell people you're not reading it and they don't get a reaction from you, that's how you really short-circuit people.
Mm-hmm.
That's if they're getting a reaction, they love it all day long. But if they're not getting a reaction, they can't stand it. They cannot stand it. That's the worst thing you can do to them.
Yep.
See, relationship advice right there.
I will say, too, though, last thing on Gerald, as much as I want him to go in the Ring of Honor, I feel like the more he talks about this kind of stuff, I can't imagine that day's coming soon.
Yeah. It's going to be harder. He needs to come to the JP Media School. We need to get him in there. Don't whine. Do not whine about this stuff. Nobody cares. Nobody freaking cares. For the life of me. Do we need to take another break?
We don't have to.
All right. What other stuff do we need to get to?
I was just gonna real quick actually because I thought of this. You know who Gerald McCoy kind of reminds me of, like a parallel. Doesn't he kind of have like a Kevin Kiermaier quality to him? Both feel a little bit like they don't get their due, right? Long tenured.
A lot of fans don't like him.
Face of something negative.
Yeah.
Don't they have some kind of parallels to each other? You think?
Little bit. Yeah, I think they do. I think I think the criticism.
Some of it's unfair.
Of KK is unfair. Yeah, I would agree with that. There's a little bit of that, and KK won in the end of his career. But he went through 5 or 6 years where the Rays sucked, and he was the face of it. He was kind of the face of it. Yeah. And then the last 5 years obviously have been much better, or 4 years. This is 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
So we're going for 5. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's fair.
The other thing I was going to get to today, I'm sure we all saw it, was a little bit of the Tiger Woods, the surgery.
Yeah. Ankle fusion surgery?
It sounds like it might be an ankle fusion, which I'm not a doctor, but I can't imagine we'll see him in at least the PGA in the U.S. I can't imagine.
No. I don't know how serious this is, but I don't think Tiger, short of some miracle cure, and I think a lot of things can be done with stem cells. There's no question about it. But I think his injuries are such that I don't even know if there's stuff to work with anymore. That his right leg is so messed up.
Yeah,
so
and I'll tell you this. Unfortunately, I hate to say this, and I'm wearing the Tiger hat today, but this Masters was the first time where I kind of went and said, I'm not rushing to my TV set to watch every shot anymore.
Yeah.
It didn't feel the same this year, admittedly. And I think it's because I watched him walk around and hobble, and it's sad when you see these guys.
I was still
You still have a little hope,
Yeah.
but when you see him and you see how hurt he was and the hobbling and just the way he was on Saturday with the rain, it just looks sad, and I didn't want to watch it.
For me, every time I see this, I get mad at him. I get mad at him because 2019, him winning the Masters and Charlie being there, oh my God, that whole thing, just the whole symmetry with his dad. Oh, just even thinking about it right now gives me chills.
You want that moment back.
I want that moment back, and I wanted, and I loved watching Jack into his 50s, and Tom Watson almost won the British Open at 60. If not for a bad bounce on a perfect shot that he hit at 18, he wins the Open Championship at 60 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And watching these guys compete through their 50s.
Phil when he was 51.
Phil when they're 51. I mean, Phil this year.
And Fred Couples.
Fred Couples at 63. It's, you're just like, they're not going to win, or you feel like this. But just watching them compete and the magic for just a little bit was so fun. It was such a great part of the Masters. And I don't think we're ever going to get that with Tiger. We're not. I mean, we're robbed of almost, 15 years of him being competitive because his dumb ass wanted to get behind the wheel. Maybe not as sober as he should have been in terms of painkillers. And we don't, we'll never know that. No, first guy ever wreck his truck like that, endangered so many people, and no toxicology ever, whatever. Good for you, Tiger. If it were me or him or anybody else, it may not have been the same treatment. Multiple times, by the way. And I'm not talking out of sorts here. We have video of Tiger driving impaired. We remember those videos.
It's a long history.
Yeah, it's a long history of this. And I get mad at you for being a guy that never should have ever touched the wheel. You have a driver for the rest. Give me a driver for the rest of my life as just one little perk where and I enjoy driving. I really do. I love driving. But if I'm given the chance, the opportunity to have someone drive me around for the rest of my life, Charles, please. Bring the car
Charles
up.
is the perfect.
Charles, please bring the car up.
Perfect name for that, isn't it?
I mean, come on. But I just don't think we're ever going to see that.
No, but this is a discussion we had a lot with all the greats. They never know when it's time. They never, ever know when it's time.
That feeling of invincibility is always there.
Like every great athlete has probably overstayed their welcome.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan with the Wizards.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of the other one that was just in my head. Serena Williams,
Mhm.
probably a little bit there.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, you could put the argument out
Last
there.
year, yes.
Peyton Manning, Brett Favre.
Yeah.
They never know.
Yeah.
You never know when you can't give it up because you're chasing. But that's what makes them great.
Exactly.
Is they're always chasing it.
Their biggest strengths are often their biggest weaknesses.
Yeah.
We see that with so many, just in life in general. But with sports stars, you definitely see that. No question about it.
Oh, I gotta get this comment here from Richie real quick before we sign off. He said, REKK, GMC, and Ring of Honor stuff. How about Curl Crawford? Is he really Rays Hall of Fame worthy or just the Rays' first good player? Just had to get that off my chest.
Well, it's relative, right? You got to pick somebody from the early years, right? You got to pick. Yeah, I think both can be true. He's worthy of the Hall of Fame, and he was their first good player. He's a damn good player.
He was a really good player. A really good player.
Yeah. And he got better every single year. He was a raw, wishbone quarterback supposed to sign with Nebraska who turned to baseball and became a tremendous athlete and was learning the game of baseball as he went. And, I think that contract in for the Red Sox doomed him.
Listen, what was he, a four-time All-Star Game MVP?
That's right. All-Star game. Yeah.
He hit 300, 410 stolen bases.
Yeah.
If
you're not putting Carl Crawford in, who are you putting in?
He is every bit on the Mount Rushmore of the Rays.
Right.
In my opinion.
Absolutely. And Boggs and McGriff, they deserve it for their career achievements and the fact that they grew up in Tampa. I'm okay with that. Like that's celebrating our area, even though they only played, had a cup of coffee at the end. Absolutely. Celebrate baseball. Absolutely. And Carl Crawford, no. I got no qualms with Carl Crawford.
No.
Whatsoever being in that class. That's good
Wish
stuff.
he wouldn't have gone to damn Boston, though.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, that's not his fault. It's not his fault. That's our fault. Although they grossly overpaid for him. We can admit that as well. So it was probably smart. All right, our thanks to Brian Bradley, who joined us today. Dan Lucas from News Channel 8 is going to join us tomorrow. We're going to hopefully have someone on from the Lightning as well. So we'll be wrapping up Game 2, and that will start at 7 o'clock tonight. You can watch that on Bally's. They'll have the pre and post as well. It'll also be on ESPN, but, of course, keep it local here. Rays have the day off. We'll talk some more Bucks tomorrow as well. Have a great day, everybody.